everybody, to another week here on the Reddit League, Season 3. We are in California this week, and we are in Division 3. My name is Atomo, and I'm joined, as always, by Calamity. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, we'll get to see how two non-native players do in California. Benica from Canada and MaxFI from Finland. So maybe we'll see if there's any North American advantage here for Benica. Their stats pretty even, Calamity.
Yeah, they actually look a bit weird. I'm assuming you did them correctly. I didn't fact check them, but they've got the same record. Benica has 2 more points, but Max has more average points, which just looks funny. Got the same amount of aces, so it kind of works out in that they're just very even.
Yeah, I think Benica picked up some bonus points in his losses, and his losses have been worse than something, but that's what the stats show. I have to go back and look at it week to week to see exactly how it all worked out, but it was pretty weird. When I was putting it together, I was like, oh, MaxFI has spent most of the season towards the top of the table, has kind of tumbled a little bit, but his stats will look good. So maybe actually his wins have been bigger. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, potentially.
So just because he's already won, he doesn't get any more points, while Benica's losses haven't been that bad, and he's earned some bonus points. Perhaps that's how it works out for those. But tied on aces, tied on score, just slightly separated in those points for them. But yeah, and our map for this week, again, is California, map by Super Cabas, average score of 16,468 points, over 150,000 locations, and played over 1,000 times. Yeah, pretty new map of California, but plenty of locations, Calamity. Anybody you favor going into this one?
Yeah, I think this is a pretty even matchup. Might favor Max slightly because I'm always saying this. I'm not actually sure anymore on how true this is, but I always have the impression that Benica is a bit better on world maps. So maybe that favors Max a bit here in California, although California probably plays more like a world map than any of the other states we've played so far do. But yeah, it could be very interesting. Depends on the seed as well, obviously, as always.
Yeah, definitely always seed dependent, but we'll see if Benica can put up some good competition and climb above Max, or if Max will be able to stop his sliding down the table here this week and start his climb again as we...
Benica is above Max. He won't need to climb over him. Benica's 6th, Max is 7th.
Above him. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long week. Anyways, we'll jump right into round number 1 here for both of them. And I think that white bar at the bottom means both of them don't have pro accounts. So we'll have a bit of intermission and advertising for Google Geoguessr Pro here.
I'm also pretty sure it means that they both have ad block because there probably should be ads there in theory.
Yeah. And right off the bat, there's a freeway exit with a number and a city, and they both are just going to scan this major interstate looking for that number. The numbers, I believe, start counting from the south, if I remember my practice correctly.
I never thought there's any regularity to that, so I just always check one, then go one way and see if it increases or decreases.
The exit numbers restart for every state, but within yes.
State, yes, sorry.
Yeah. So within the state, they are systematic.
Yeah.
But if you find exit like 120 and you're in the wrong state, it will be in a different order maybe than if it was in somewhere else. But
I was kind of wondering there. I'm not sure if Max saw an exit number because he... Oh yeah, no, never mind. I was thinking of a different round. Yeah, my bad.
No, yeah, he's right on top of it. They both are just trying to get some pinpointing. Not a whole lot to use, given that we are in a very rural location. So a lot of proportionality is going to come into play here. How many clicks and looking at the map and going back and forth to see that, which can be quite tricky.
Yeah, it's also always annoying having these highway on ramps and stuff like that because you can never really tell where exactly, like how exactly the map compares to what you see.
Yeah, it looks like the road is further away, but it's not. And they both will show you just how hard it is. Guessing almost in the exact same location. Benica a little bit closer, 18 meters to 28, but both only losing a point.
Yeah,
Calamity?
I actually got a 5K there. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I was about to say, we can see that you did quite well,
Yeah.
despite the difficulty.
We can also
But,
see the ads coming onto Max's screen, so he's apparently not got an ad block, but just Geoguessr puts a white bar on the bottom of your screen without putting any ads there, I guess.
yeah, I'm not sure. So, but yeah, nothing to separate these two in round one, Calamity, but a pretty easy location given that we had an interstate and an exit number right off the
Yeah,
bat.
definitely. If you start at in interstate exit, then I've said this in a previous video, but you know the best thing to do here, I don't know if it's true for all of the US, but in California for sure, is look at what exit number you've got, and then look at not enter, exit the highway to see which highway you're on, and then you're pretty much good. And that applies to any interstate and US state highway in California at least.
Yeah, most states are pretty nicely organized like that. So one nice thing about being in America in GeoGuessr. Well, let's get into round number 2 then. And we do get an urban location here. We're going to get lots of views of sunny Southern California. And it looks like this little town does have its name on the road signs, which is always nice. And why is Benica... He just wasn't moving.
No,
I thought
it got stuck for a bit. At least on my screen, it got stuck for a bit. It skipped like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The timers are perfectly synced, so it wasn't anything on my end. It just seems like he was maybe had a call to take or something. But travel down the
Would have been a fast call.
Maybe he just rejected it. Playing GeoGuessr, go away.
Not now.
Yeah, not now. Yeah.
But yeah, I know Max has seen that he's in the city/town of Lomita. I don't know if Benica has seen that anywhere. Just putting a pin down in California, somewhere random, is always a good idea. I don't actually think that many people timed out during the actual games, but I know when I practiced with Radox on quite a few seeds, he timed out like every other seed on one of the rounds.
Oh yeah, always nice to put that safety pin down. No pun intended. But yeah, I think Benica has seen the same little street signs that had the city on them, but I don't know if he has done anything with them, at least in terms of moving his pin or zooming into Los Angeles. And there's that famous blurry American coverage,
Yes,
which we can usually avoid, but...
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect either of them to know where Lomita is. I certainly didn't. But at that point, just you should be looking for an area code probably, if you did learn them, which you should have in California because they're incredibly helpful.
Yeah, they're not that bad. I think if you learn any of them, what you should be learning is the ones that aren't in major cities. Because if you're in the middle of nowhere, they might be something that you can use. If you're in LA, you probably have enough other information that you don't need them.
I actually think the city ones are more important because
Really?
you're much more likely to find them. Whereas in a rural location, I've actually found, to be fair, I've found 707 quite a lot in the Northwest.
That's like the entire Northwest.
Yeah, well, it's rather big, so that's certainly useful, but I don't think I found much in the other rural areas of California. Whereas in the cities, it can just be nice as a quick confirmation. Okay, I found 408. I'm in sort of south of San Jose in some suburbs, which can, in suburbs, especially as we we'll see when we have Division 2 matchups, it can be quite difficult to figure out which bigger city this is a suburb of. Obviously, if you're in central Los Angeles, if you're in central San Francisco, it's going to be an easy round either way. But so maybe not necessarily learning the area codes for the big cities, but for the areas surrounding the big cities. But the other thing is you'll often in the surrounding areas find area codes of the big cities. So like if you're surrounding area of Los Angeles, you might find, I think it's 210 or 213 for Los Angeles. You might find that area code somewhere around as well.
Yeah, maybe I should give a little caveat that I did live in Southern California, so a lot of those small names and cities I kind of know, so it's like I don't really need to worry about them too much. But in the meantime, Max was able to get on a highway, find some locations, then narrow down to the road and get an ace. But Benica hasn't seen that. He's seen all the information he needed, just didn't maybe recognize that Torrance was quite a famous small town in Los Angeles.
Famous.
He also missed.
Famous again to point out. Famous for someone who's lived in California.
I mean, yeah, it's a major. Maybe I shouldn't use famous. It's a major city in the Los Angeles urban sprawl, and we did see quite a few Japanese stores as well, which is also another hint for a fun fact. Torrance has a large Japanese expat population, so. Lots of good grocery stores and restaurants for all of you Californians. Go to Torrance. So, yeah, so he's in the right city, but on the other side, which will cost him quite a bit, only getting 2,696 points on that one, Calamity.
How is it actually in sort of Los Angeles? Is Torrance a city of its own, or is it like a suburb of Los Angeles?
No, it's a city.
Okay. So he's not in the right
city.
Of
Torrance. Well, yeah. I mean, Los Angeles isn't really. It's a very small city, actually, but it's just that sprawl. That's all the greater Los Angeles area. You know, it's kind of like New York, right? You have like New York City is actually quite small, but the New York metropolitan area is very, very large. I don't know. Is Vienna like that?
No.
Or is Vienna just Vienna?
Vienna is just Vienna.
Okay. There's no towns it's grown into or anything.
Yeah, not really. Like you've got small towns surrounding it, but it's not like in LA where you've got like maybe I'm just saying random numbers here, but like 1 million people in LA and then 10 million in the surrounding areas. It maybe be like you've got 1.8 or something, maybe 2 million by now in Vienna, and then maybe like a few thousand in the surroundings.
Okay. So very, very different.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Max will take the massive lead into round number 3. As we get into that, Benica's got a lot to come back from. And this might be the round to do it. Very open. If he can find something, Max doesn't. But we've got a road.
Yeah, I actually saw it like right at the end there. It's not important anymore, but I just saw that the spawn point for location 2 was close to Nishi Yamamoto Academy, which just is another point of your Japanese influence in Torrance.
Yeah, we passed a couple restaurants and I think even a temple I thought I saw. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Max has got a great on-ramp. He's got a California highway number.
99, I think that was.
Yep, 99. And a junction is a great place. 2 big roads, lots of signs. And he will use that to pinpoint.
Yeah, and if you want to remember some US state highways, remember the 99 and the 299. Those are from my experience, the most important ones and the ones that you'll find the most, because the 99 just sort of goes all the way north-south, and the 299 is the big west-east road in the north of the country, north of the state, sorry.
Yeah, things like that. Major arteries through the state is helpful. And they both seem to be, again, scanning for that exit number. Benica's looking at the 5 and the 99. looking for something else than Max is looking for.
Yeah.
Max is looking for those road numbers again, names again, sorry. Has gone back to the start to try to pick those up and start his pinpointing with about 2 minutes left. Benica also scanning through those small streets. Really interesting that this is what it looks like just outside of major city. This is one part of California I've never been to, but
yeah, Max
very stark difference.
Yeah,
so.
Max has found where he is. He's just doing some last pinpointing based on very little that he can do to help himself here. There's a couple of like canals surrounding him, but yeah, there's also like a canal on the map that goes sort of west-east. That's just not there in Google Street View, so that can be quite deceiving.
Yeah, but Benica isn't too far away either. He is also pinpointing with about a minute left to go, and it looks like he's going to try to do that click trick where you count the number of clicks it takes so you get a sense of proportion between distances. Can be helpful when you don't have a whole lot else to work with.
Yeah.
But they're both going to try to use their time here to get as accurate as possible. Benica definitely needs it more than Max does, but Max isn't going to let any more points slip through his fingers than he can. And yeah, you too, for only, well, in this case, €2 a month, get ad-free and unlimited play of Google Geoguessr. And unfortunately for him, that pinpointing proves to be tricky again. 4,998 points.
And Benica is running out of time to do his clicking.
Yep. A long way on in both directions, so he's not really gotten much of a hope. Gonna favor one slide slightly as time runs out, and for only $3.69 Canadian dollars. For all you Canadians.
That seems a lot.
It does seem more. It doesn't seem proportional, but he will do a little bit worse in his pinpointing. Not too much we can fault him though. 4,992.
Yeah. The problem there is
didn't seem to work out for him there.
The problem there is the canal that's on the map that's not in Street View, that you can see there right where the flag is. So I pretty much did the same thing as Benica, and that I thought that canal is the next road up north, and it's just not. There's really nothing you can do there, unless you go all the way to the north to like the next dead end, which probably even then, I mean, first of all, it would take a lot of time, and you'd have to count the side roads along the way, and then you'd have to trust that they're all rightly on the map, especially considering that it didn't look like the most finished area, so to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, rough to pinpoint there.
Yeah, rough to pinpoint, and it means that Benica will fall even further behind Max after that round as we get into number 4 here. And now we've got a nice little forest road. Maybe there won't be an interstate in this one, but who knows? Maybe just around the corner there is one. Benica immediately thinking we are in the northern part of the state. Drops the safety pin down. We make our way down out of the mountain.
They're both going north. In this case, I can tell you the wrong direction. But I'm interested to see if there's anything in the north.
Yeah. We've got a moment while they're wandering through some lovely woods here. Did you have a favorite part of California, Calamity, while you were playing through this?
You mean landscape-wise? Or
yeah, like northern, mid, deserts?
I kind of liked the areas in sort of, yes, the north, but more so like western coast north, that general area. I think, just landscape-wise.
Few signs from Max, but nothing too important. I'm glad to hear. I think my favorite part of America is the Pacific Northwest. So Northern California, Oregon, Washington, along that coast. Very beautiful forest, kind of not hot summers and not cold winters either. Very mild, very green. So
Yeah, but I'm someone who
definitely enjoy
I
it.
I'll take rural, some sort of forest over big city any day.
Mm. Yeah.
And Max has decided, okay, this was enough going north. Let's go the
Gonna
good
go
way.
back. Benika's a little bit slower in his movement, so he hasn't. He's now about seen everything that Max has going that north direction.
I think
But
Max
then
just
very,
Max just
very.
very quickly saw the 299 state
Mhm.
highway, just immediately put his map over it, so we didn't really get to see it.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like he goes just a little bit south, and he gets all the information he needed to at least start pinpointing. Benica, though, does have some city names.
Yeah.
Redwood Valley would point to being the northern part of the state, given where most of the redwoods are. As you see on his map, they're Redwood National Park.
Yeah, I
Don't know if
didn't.
he saw that.
I know Redwood Valley obviously from this playing this round because that's where we are, but I'd never heard of either of those beforehand. No idea where Hoopa is.
Yeah.
So I assume he has no idea either by his map scrolling right now.
Well, he's got a minute, see if he can find anything. Max isn't any closer to the location either.
I mean, he is because he knows the state highway.
Yeah, well, he's got the highway, but I don't think he's got much more than that.
True.
Maybe he knows where the
for
northern
sure,
part
at
of the
least,
state.
yeah.
Benica's seen some redwood naming schemes, so he's thinking maybe he's onto something.
That's useful though because Eureka stands out on the map.
Yeah,
if he
yeah.
yeah, he doesn't know where the 299 is. That's his problem. He's got 40 seconds to find it. It's probably
He's going the wrong way. There we
Yeah.
go. Turn around. Good job. Keep going. Further west. A little bit. There you go.
Yeah, it's
there it is.
probably
Oh, he missed it.
probably the biggest, or not the biggest, but the most important road in north that crosses, like for geoguessr purposes in California.
Yeah. Max zipped right past those cities on that sign. Oh, there's Hopa. I thought I just saw it.
Max just I don't know if you noticed that actually. He clicked while okay, good. He found it because he accidentally, I think, clicked in sort of Southern California while going over on his map. So that could have ended really badly.
Very badly. And neither of them able to get very close, but both of them in general vicinity. Only 2 kilometers apart in this one. 4,611 points for Max FI and 4,535 for Benica. Both of them finding very different kinds of information, but almost putting their pins on the exact same spot, Calamity.
Yeah, did Benica actually find Hooper? Or because I didn't see whether he found anything at all. Because I know he had his pin in that sort of area pretty early on, but I don't know if he was mostly watching Max's screen at the time because that was a lot more urgent time-wise.
He actually moved his pin much further south and then rethought it, moved it back up north, and was following a road that looked good to him. And there was I think he might have seen some redwood names again and was trying to look around those, not the actual city, but other things called redwood, and was searching in that area, and then the time ran out for him. So a lucky last second adjustment from Benica saves him from falling too far behind. And I think mathematically he still got a chance in round number 5 here. Yes, he does. Max at 19,608. Benica 17,222.
Yeah, I actually just rewatched it quickly. He found the sign for the State Highway 299 with 10 seconds to go.
Ooh, yeah. Very
So
last second.
thankfully,
luck.
he, other than Max, knew where it is, so he could get the pin there in time.
Another very open highway. So in contrast to some of the other divisions, this one is very rural. But they have had some pretty famous, well, not famous, but like well-known locations. I need to stop using that word because
World famous.
for me, everybody knows. But like, I forget that we have a very international audience, and lots of people have never heard of a lot of parts of California before this week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's a
and there we
good
go. We have
sign.
Mammoth Lake, junction between two states and distances. That's very, very nice.
Both
And they
finding the
both
sign
know
at the
where it
same
is.
time. I mean, Reno, the distance to Reno is quite telling.
Yeah. We've had a few kind of bigger named locations like the 299 and such, and Benica has zoomed right in on those. He seems to be somewhat familiar with California, though a bit slow and not as accurate with his pinpointing. Some familiarity definitely with the state paying
Mm-hmm.
off here. So, and as we see, Max knows what to look for, but he's really having to scan the map to try to figure out where it is. He doesn't have any preconceived notions where that might be. So.
Mm. Yeah, when you've got a reference point 180 kilometers away, it's not the easiest thing to find, especially when the other things you've got are probably very small state highways.
Los Angeles 310 miles away.
That'll help him a lot more, though. Not the Los Angeles distance, but the other things on that sign, especially
Yeah,
the US
Bishop
highway.
and Big Pine not too far away.
Okay, so it looks like at this point we're set in our result here. Whether they'll get 5k both is a different question, but there won't be a 2,400 point swing here.
Yeah, they're both on the right road in the general area, so at most Benica can maybe pick up a few hundred points on Max here, which won't be enough to get the win.
Mm.
So Max will, at least for now, alter his fate slightly. I think Benica will just guess a little bit early, knowing he's not had the best game. Didn't look like he was too worried about pinpointing in that round.
I mean, you spend about 2 minutes pinpointing, and he was 90 meters away, so I don't think there was much more could have done.
Yeah,
there.
maybe not much more you could have done. He had a minute left on the clock, but after spending that much time trying to pinpoint, maybe as good as it's going to get for him. Max now narrowing down his search area as well, picking up some more signs, looking for some crossroads. He will be in the right general area as well. There are under 30 seconds left to go. Yeah, he'll begin his climb back up the table with this. And a decent showing from the Finn. Yeah, it's always one of those things like, oh, I have home field advantage. This matchup is in my home country or something. But, having good GeoGuessr skills, pretty much makes any place your home country as long as you can find decent information. So he'll get another ace, actually. So he does spend the time pinpointing, and that'll help him in those score differentials as well as that ace column for him, Calamity. So well done, Max, on picking up the win.
Yep, it's just one round there that really cost Benica. It probably actually, let me recheck if they were close enough in round 4 that they would have been a draw otherwise. It actually would have been if they had picked up within 10 points on all the other rounds, it would have been a draw. So that one round where Benica was just on the wrong side of Los Angeles, that's why you learn area codes. Because an area code would have told you you're in Western Los Angeles. And would have probably made it quite a bit easier to find Lomita there as well.
Yeah, definitely. But LA is a jungle in and of itself. It can be hard with all those different town names and things like knowing the area or even knowing some area codes can mean the difference. But in this case, it was just Max, I think, traveling more than Benica overall. That's the stat I really would love to be able to get. Any of you developers out there watching, find a way, because we have a path tracker, to record that path and get the total distance traveled. Because it's not that important, but it is a fun stat that I would love to see for some of these matchups, like this one, where I think Max just out-traveled Benica, picked up some more information, and especially in some of the harder locations, going a bit more far to get something, coming back and able to pinpoint and getting those aces. So Yeah. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed chatting along and watching these. And we'll see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.